Now, India's Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, she interacted with the Chinese army personnel at the Nathu border in Sikkim on Saturday. The light-hearted exchange saw Sitharaman greeting with a namaste as the Chinese troops responded to the greeting with ni hao, which means hello there. The Chinese army commander at the Nathu post also briefed Sitharaman on the posts held by the army personnel present at the meet. India's defence minister was on a visit to the crucial border state of Sikkim to meet the Indo-Tibetan border police officials at Nathu, where she interacted with the Vice Chief of Army Staff and other senior army officials. The exchange comes weeks after the end of a 72-day standoff at Doklam between the two armies.
His job is just control our soldier at this place and just keep the boundary safe and peace with your soldier and with your office. And this is my commander, the major, and this is our the captain.
Namaste.
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 You know what namaste is?
Namaste.
No. Do you know what namaste is?
It's just next
Greetings.
No, hold on, let him, he knows.
Okay. Is this mean?
What would you
nice
say
to
in
meet
Chinese? What would you say in Chinese?
We just say ni hao.
So I say namaste.
Okay, listen. 他们 namaste 就是你好的意思，就是跟我
Namaste.
你好
Right?
Okay.
你好
Namaste. Namaste.
Good. Very good. And please introduce yourself also, Major Captain Wang Peiqi.
My name is Wang Peiqi, and the last name is Peiqi, and the first name is Wang. In Chinese, the Wang is the English, translated English is the king. And this is our family name.
Very good. And to have a king do the translation.
Yeah, and my English is just pardon me.
Fine.
Okay,
You're
thank
doing
you.
fine.
Thank you.
So,
All right, to talk more about this, joining me live from the newsroom is WION senior correspondent Raghvendra Rao. Raghvendra, when was the last time one had seen these kind of visuals with the Defence Minister of India meeting the Chinese troops at the border?
Well, to be honest,
what does this mean?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen such a sight, in India's independent history. A defence minister going up to the frontiers, forward posts, that is not something new. But Nirmala Sitharaman, ever since she took charge as the defence minister, she has been visiting all the forward posts. She first visited some forward posts in Gujarat, then went to Kashmir, visited the forward areas along the LOC. Now she went to the northeast, and this exchange, I mean, it's amazing the kind of light-hearted banter which is going on, and the way she's engaging with the Chinese troops and asking them whether they know what namaste means. It also appeared to be a little tongue-in-cheek, but yes, I mean, amazing visuals. And the fact that Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has chosen to go to the northeast, at a time when northeast has been making news for all the wrong reasons post the Doklam standoff. It's a very symbolic gesture in a way. Visits like these often go a long way in lifting the morale of the soldiers who are posted at some of these remote, inhospitable posts along international borders. And this visit, I'm sure, must have done a world of good to those Indian soldiers who have been positioned there for weeks and months.
Right. I mean, this is a, calm interaction between India and China, be it at the Sikkim border. But what does this really say about the tensions that India and China have been witnessing over the past, few months? And tensions have been escalating. So do you think this is, an effort that India has made? Because this is a very, very informal, interaction that we see. And it goes on to show the bonhomie, which, of course, doesn't exist. One imagines, the PLA troops pointing guns at the Indian troops when it comes to the border situation, but nothing like this. A friendly exchange, people calmly speaking to one another, both the sides and both their troops.
Absolutely, and it appears to be a very, very spontaneous kind of a move. This looks to be very, very unscripted. I mean, she was visiting Sikkim, she was visiting areas close to the India-China border. She went up to Nathula. The fact that the Doklam face of sight is not too far off from the areas where Nirmala Sitharaman was, visiting day before. The fact that she chose to go to this post and interact and engage with these Chinese soldiers, it does send out a message of sorts. Also the fact that both sides disengaged from Doklam a few days back after a standoff that lasted for almost 72 days and led to a lot of outcry in both the countries and a hardening of stance and rhetoric from both sides. Given that backdrop, the fact that a defense minister, that too from India, has chosen to walk right up to the border and engage in a conversation with soldiers from the other side, from the Chinese side, it's a very fresh kind of an approach, I would say, because this is not something you would expect a politician or a government functionary to do on a routine basis. So yes, it's a very unconventional way to deal with issues, deal with things, and I'm sure after a visit like this, even if the soldiers on both sides were having any issues with each other, such a visit by a senior functionary, wherein the senior functionary,
tension, right.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Raghavendra, for joining us with inputs. In fact, before moving on, once again, let's go back and watch the exchange when India's defense minister visited the border with China in Sikkim.
Our soldier at this place and just keep the boundary safe and peace with your soldier and with your office. And this is my commander, the major, and this is the captain.
Namaste.
Namaste.
You know what namaste is?
Namaste.
No. Do you know what namaste is?
It's just the next
Greetings. No, hold on, let him, he knows.
Okay. Is this mean?
What would you
Nice
say
to
in
meet you.
Chinese? What would you say in Chinese?
We just say 你好.
So I say namaste.
Okay, 那是他们 namaste 就是你好的意思，就是跟我
Namaste.
你好
Right?
Okay.
你好
Namaste.
你好
Namaste.
Good, very good. And please introduce yourself also, Captain Wang Peiqi.
My name is Wang Peiqi, and the last name is Peiqi, and the first name is Wang. In Chinese, the Wang is the English, translated English is the king. And this is our family name.
Very good. And to have a king do the translation.
Yeah, and my English is just a just a part of me.
Fine.
Okay,
You're
thank
doing
you.
fine.
Okay, thank you.